split them up, though. Things just got a little bit out of hand in the last panel, if you saw it. And Jack took too much offence to what Giannis was saying. So we've had to just split them up and just... Can you just calm down now, okay?
I'm good. I'm good. I can't be next to Jack. I
know
love him too much. I can't handle it sometimes.
I know it's difficult for you that Jack comes out with this fountain of knowledge of Dota 2 and you're not quite used to that level of knowledge in Dota. That's fine. I accept that, you know, you've got 100 HQ in terms of Dota points and you're intimidated by Jack's presence. I get that.
I think I just spent too much time.
Please?
I spent too much time around him because even in normal conversation, it just some of the words that Jack substitutes for other things, I'm just like, this man's a genius. I love him so much.
I'm just glad to be next to Winter again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. It's all love and hugs on the panel. We're just, you know, enjoying each other's company. As I said, we're going to move on. Liquid versus OG is our next matchup. This is a good game to have. I mean, now the OG have found a little bit of form. Do you know what I was thinking this morning? When this patch hit, I was thinking, ooh, who would be the teams that would enjoy some of the changes? OG are one of those teams. They loved patches in the old days. Do you remember how they would come off a patch into a major, destroy everyone by figuring it out really? I know this isn't a massive change patch because that's not what we get these days. They're every couple of weeks, but this is probably the most we're going to see.
Yeah, and I think this is a good matchup for them to kind of like prove it, right?
Yeah.
Like, sure, Optic, maybe there's that little slight rivalry as we talked a bit yesterday, so they really wanted to win that one, but now I think this is the real test because Liquid, they're not, I think maybe, I mean, we've only seen them really doing the best of ones. They're maybe not at the top of their form because they just started playing with Miracle again after the slight break, but I think this is where they're really going to get proven. Can Seb deal with the matchup in particular? Because now that's the lane. I think Mad versus Matu, or if he gets placed versus Miracle in a situation, I think that's where we're really going to see if he can actually stand up for this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Winter as well, with this break, you've experienced players that want to take a break and, you know, step back a little bit. How do they adjust coming back into the team?
Mostly by practice. I think practicing together, again, is... I'm not sure how much practice they had in between Dream
I mean, he's been playing a lot of pubs.
I mean, he's been playing a lot, but he's not been playing with his team.
Yeah.
That's like, I think the main thing that would cause problems in a team play. Like not being around for a week in this kind of level is a lot.
But does it help Jack, do you think? Do you think he's come back in and he's fresher, he's happier, he's watched them play? There's always a different view, isn't there? He sat at home watching them play and thought, oh, right, they do that during the game. Oh, right, yeah, I never realised they did this. Surely that's going to help him coming back. He's going to feel fresher, he's going to feel stronger, more knowledge.
Yeah, I think it helps both ways. I mean, from the team's perspective, a lot of times you don't realize, you know, what you're missing till it's gone, right? It's like, hey, we had, you know, maybe the best player in the world, you know, we had to kind of plug holes a little bit and change things around. And then from his perspective, again, just being refreshed. Sometimes it's really just the stress of constantly being together and traveling together. It's like not that many jobs or professions where you're constantly traveling with your teammates and your coworkers and living with them too. So that can really get to people.
I know you feel. I know you feel. I'm sick of Fog now. It's been 3 months on the road. Every event, the same event, different hotel. Oh, he's on the panel right now. Sorry, buddy.
10 seconds remaining.
One time.
At this rate, Fog, it's going to be hard to bring you back. You're just irreconcilable differences with everyone.
Whatever, man.
Yeah, I'm going to take a week off from Fog soon and then come back and I'll have that moment, Jack, where I'm sat at home thinking, you know, you never know what you've got until you've lost it. And I'm so much happier for it.
I have mean things I could say, but...
You can say them.
No, it's
We're
okay.
all good friends here. It's all fine. You know I'd miss you anyway if we have 2 weeks off.
We're going to have a while off after this, aren't we?
Are we?
At least I do. I got a while off after
I can't
this
say
one.
anything, nor can you, because we don't know if that's public.
That's true.
Yeah. I think we need to announce our engagement before we say anything publicly. And then
Oh, God. What's happening?
let's move to the draft before
We're
we
just
get
like,
into
Dota,
trouble. 3 bans in from both sides. What do we got?
Those are some GH targeted bans right there.
Very heavily GH targeted.
We have Dark Willow, we have Pangolier.
Elder Titan.
They've been picking a lot of team fight to start off with. I mean, there was like the Warlock, right, which was like a constant like early pick for them, even like through while they were winning majors and stuff that we saw them take early on as well.
That was a lot of it with Earth Spirit, right? If I remember correctly. They like this Earth Spirit Warlock, the Fatal Bonds and the Magnetize, like super team fight.
I'm surprised the Earth Spirit's got. I know, obviously, you don't want to give it to Liquid either, but OG had first pick. They could have picked it.
Yeah, but do you actually want to pick?
Do you want to waste first pick on?
No,
on
I actually don't think you want to pick Earth Spirit if you're OG anymore. Like I prefer Jerax on like this kind of Elder Titan lane bully. Like Earth Spirit is
So Enchantress got nerfed pretty, got hit pretty big, right?
Yeah,
like the Untouchable got hit. A couple other things. It was pretty significant nerfs.
So what's the idea of this opening? Night Stalker, Enchantress. This is gonna be the dual lane, I guess.
Yeah, it must be some pressure lane. I mean, Mind Control has been. I mean, he's been just wanting to play this hero also every game, to be completely honest, as well.
They had been taking Chen for a stretch pretty much if it was available at all. And obviously, I don't even know if OG plays that much Enchantress, but again, you're kind of just taking that off the table right now. They want to be able to pressure that safe lane. Obviously, with the vision from the Night Stalker, they try to play like a very control-y type of style, like abuse the lanes first and then convert that to like an early win. That's kind of been Liquid's signature for some time, right?
Do you also think the fact that they've targeted 3 GH bans, OG, that they'll just continue to target them through the second phase, and maybe that Night Stalker is actually GH?
I think
Night Stalker
is going to play Night Stalker.
Yeah. So they get his done out of the way, which then means no more bans. They don't care about what OG want to do.
This combo is also a real annoyance for the Elder Titan as well. This hero can be kind of a bully in lane, but if you're up against the Enchantress, it's not too worried about the Elder Titan.
But it's a significant nerf, right? The level 1 Untouchable right now is like, what, minus
It's 20 now instead of what it was 50 or 40.
It was 40. It was 40 before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 20 now.
another PA ban. I guess for the Enchantress?
Yeah,
it's
I guess
also
so.
reduced. It's 20, 60, 100, 140 now.
Okay.
Which was 40, 70, 100, 130 before.
I think also for the Night Stalker, Night Stalker versus Elder Titan can be a pretty obnoxious matchup. I think that also could be why. Not only because they've been limited a little bit on their resources, but you have 2 ways to actually stop that hero from doing the stomp. Because you have the mini stun as well as your silence, so can work pretty well. And you can... Elder Titan is also a hero that can get punished a bit. Like we talk about Disruptor when you get ran at. Night Stalker is kind of similar. If you run at this Elder Titan, you're put on the defensive aspect. It does make it hard to actually utilize your spells properly.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
Also, when that tower drops, like a lot of offlaners might prefer to farm a little bit more with the vision from the Night Stalker during that first night. If you lose your tower fairly early on, a lot of rotations can come from the jungle that you can't really scout anymore.
Yeah.
Can't do anything about.
I like the Lifestealer ban. I think playing Elder Titan versus Lifestealer is actually just so difficult.
I think you don't want to play like Lifestealer and Juggernaut.
Yeah, the 2 heroes that can just easily evade your spells.
5 seconds remaining.
And the other hero that's not a core is like Clockwork. You don't want to play against Clockwork.
Yeah.
But you know.
Turn to
What's up with that hand?
What hand?
Oh, I think GH had his hand behind his back. Or it was bugging me out.
So they take out the Bat Rider, which is a good lane matchup against the Enchantress. So they have used both their bans to protect this Enchantress. So this is more or less going to be, like you guys mentioned, the off-lane Enchantress. They're just going to want to make sure that this guy has the best lane possible in the early game so he can pressure.
Are you surprised we've seen that Enchantress? Especially first 2 picked.
Yeah, after all the
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, those changes, some of them are just... enchant cooldown, rescale.
It's still really early to tell though. Like we look at the patch. Oh, you think this is your first impression, but maybe after play, then it doesn't feel as bad.
Okay. But that enchant cooldown though has been rescaled from 30 to 55.
55, right? Yeah, that was the other
24
one.
to 40, 18 to 25, and 12 to 10, which isn't so bad towards the end, but still. 55.
It's very much more punishing of early mistakes. Again, if that creep gets killed somehow.
What's the cooldown on the when you enchant when you enchant the creep? How long does the enchant last? Because now can you actually re-enchant it?
I think
you can't re-enchant it anymore.
If I remember correctly, it's 50 seconds.
So you can't re-enchant your creep anymore.
Not sure.
I'm not too sure. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think that also could be one of the reasons of the numbers. I'm wondering also if Liquid could experiment more, because I saw Necro get buffed up. And I mean, we know they like their green heroes. We know that we're probably assuming that Matu's going to play some Venomancer, some hero like that, Veno, Pugna.
Brood,
so I was wondering about
Brood
that.
is also still available, and Brood is really good against these 2 supports. But not this early.
Yeah.
Probably the 4th pick or the 4th pick may be a bit difficult because they're picking first. So OG has 2 picks to react to it. So maybe the last hero.
I'd be pretty surprised if they don't ban Brood last, right? With these 2, like Witch Doctor's.
Awful.
Actually, it's the worst to play. Most 5 heroes though is pretty hard to play versus.
Keep in mind they're both Brood teams. They can both Brood.
Both Broods. Yeah, that's true.
So I'm sure it'll be in the forefront of their mind when they get to that final pick.
So Razor received like a very it's ignore, right? But the nerf was this really minor nerf, like 100 range, like 50 range of the was it 50 or
Yeah,
100
it's like
off
down to
50
like
off the
550
cast
or
range,
something.
and you lost 40 damage off your unstable current on level 1. It went from 100 to
Oh.
60.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
OG.
I would
quite
say
sad.
that the range is actually
Oh.
on the link
Husker.
can help too, because sometimes you do that link and
Okay.
it's just too far away.
I mean, Husker is really good against. Really good. You don't really care about ET aura.
Yeah. Huskar got changed slightly as well,
What was
was
the
it?
change?
10
Husker got
seconds.
changed.
Was it or no?
No.
It was not. Okay.
I don't think so, right?
No.
5 seconds remaining.
But Spirit Vessel got changed, right? So that's
Yes.
magic damage.
So
So,
that's
it's not
worse
as
against-
it's
oh,
not as
yeah.
strong versus Huskar
Oh
anymore,
yeah,
right?
yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
because of the magic damage.
Yep. So Dazzle here, I mean, Dazzle got buffed up a little bit. Poison Touch got changed a little, but versus Elder Titan, it can be decent because with the aura, if Elder Titan's near people, like Weave is always going to be pretty good there.
I mean, the Husker is definitely gonna be on their minds right now.
Yeah. Maybe not anymore. Lycan traditionally
Gonna be
pretty good versus
tougher, wouldn't it?
Huskar.
Yeah, but if Lycan gets a really bad laning phase, they can like against the Ench and the Night Stalker. If
Yeah,
he's
the Lycan
poor.
pick into the Enchantress is interesting as well.
Yeah, but like Lycan's generally like a pick where people utilize against
10
Night Stalker.
seconds
Because
remaining.
during nighttime, NS runs around, tries and kill people, then you have the howl, the
5
double
seconds
heal.
remaining.
This is an interesting Liquid draft. It reminds me a little bit of, and they've been playing like Morphling and stuff a lot too, is kind of around TI, they were not really picking about this like team fight composition at all. It was kind of just abusive individual laners that they had.
Yeah.
These like, you would pair like a Necro with a Huskar with a Brood, right? It's just like, it just takes too many resources to kill this hero. And sometimes if you try to make a 3 or 4 man rotation on a hero that's just abusing your lane, and the Dazzle's there, you can get turned around on very quickly.
Or you
So
lose a lot of like map control on the other lanes.
it's like even if you get the kill, sometimes they don't send anyone to help and you drop a tower from it instead.
So they don't really have the catch for the Lycan, but now they have, I mean, Terrorblade versus Lycan, you always get, of course, like Feral Impulse when you use Reflection. It's actually incredibly strong.
I mean, you stand and just man fight him.
You just hand, yeah, you do so much damage when you get
You
your
don't run.
Reflection.
Seconds remaining.
And the Dazzle's there to ensure that you get the grave. I mean, the Sunder off.
5
Yeah.
seconds remaining.
There's some synergy between
pick.
obviously the Dazzle and Terrorblade, but beyond that, I mean, they've like totally. If you could look at like the kind of draft box, like their team fight, that synergy is not really there. But what they want to do is just kind of run down each lane, keep their heroes there, and just take all your towers.
So Brute would be good, like last pick for that matter.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of like you
Oh.
can't make up for it with one
Huh.
pick, right? So you might as well
That's
stay in that direction.
That's really good against
That's really good.
TB.
and against Ench.
Yeah, you just burst them with your
Yeah.
your spells.
That's a cool pick. That's enemy S4 probably playing it, right? He's been
S4?
playing it a lot.
10
Off lane. Oh, you mean
seconds
he's
remaining.
they're
They-
just gonna
they
move
swap. They
move
move
the
it
roles.
in.
Different
Oh,
roles.
okay.
He's been playing it a lot. I mean it's really good with ET as well because you've got
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
added
yeah.
spell damage bonus and versus Enchantress and Terrorblade. That actually could be a pretty cool pick. And with Edict, I mean there's a lot of different things they can make work with this
So,
Lash.
so then Sebastian's gonna be playing some Magnus.
Something
Maybe
some fight starter in my
Void,
opinion.
Magnus,
10
Beastmaster
seconds
kind of
Yeah.
hero. Maybe it's Sand King's. Oh no Sand King. Yeah. So
They can
seconds
take
remaining.
towers very quickly themselves. I still think something like a DK, if they go for it, is still a solid choice for them. The damage output from Liquid is
oh yeah,
It
oh yeah,
feels
oh
like
yeah. I
they're trouble
remember
killing.
they have put Matt on offlane DK, but they didn't do so well. But
they
they've
didn't
done
do
it.
so well that game, yeah.
Yeah, they've done it. I don't know. I personally like some more AOE hero like Magnus, Tide, that kind of hero. Even though Tide, I know like Yanis doesn't like the hero, long cooldown hero, but it does fit their lineup. And Tide is actually pretty decent against TB when you get the talent.
It's good versus like Liquid's draft too right now. They have like no magical damage to actually burst here, so you're just gonna be like this like frontliner
tank.
that doesn't really
The
care.
tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even like maybe an Underlord would be okay. Because you have Elder Titan. Elder Titan with Underlord is
That's
also
the
They-
Brood
yeah,
ban.
I think you have to ban the Brood.
Yeah. They're either going to take it or ban it.
Yeah, Underlord seems like it would just it would make their lineup so hard to chew through when they get together. Like it's like impossible. to team
The
fight
other
them all.
hero that I'm thinking
Yeah.
of is Visage. Do you think Visage will work with their lineup? If
Some-
they,
It's something they play
10
pretty
seconds
frequently. We see it used against like Terrorblade and
but
stuff
No
as
Tail
well, right?
plays it, right? No one else
Yeah.
plays the hero.
5
And No Tail
seconds
plays the
remaining.
Lycan.
Yeah, so probably not likely.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they have like this sort of push strat, like Lycan and Lash, they can actually be barreling down towers very early, and the enemy doesn't really have much wave clear and team fight.
Oh. Wait,
that's the
wow.
That's
Okay.
the TB. That's the TB like matchup. Argorden does.
So that's going to be no towers.
that's when we know Tails then.
Yeah.
So Lycan's gonna be mad, and then Lash will be S4.
Yes. Mad has been playing the Lycan.
He
but,
has been.
But who's
Okay.
gonna
Yes, yeah.
who's gonna go offlane? Are they going to do
They'll
aggro?
go offline with the Lesh, I would imagine.
The aggro tri lane.
Or maybe a dual lane, like
5
Elder
seconds
Titan,
remaining.
Leshrac off lane, Arc Warden, and Lycan takes the safe lane and mid lane.
Maybe they could just sack the Lycan too, right?
Yep.
Maybe like that could be their idea.
Yeah, because Arc Warden is the right now with this hero pick, this hero becomes the middle piece on your draft.
You may now
Ooh,
select
a CW.
So that's catch finally
Yeah.
because they were really lacking that.
Centaur is a mid.
That's a Matu Centaur.
Not mid. Miracle's going to be the mid, isn't he?
What's the lanes going to be?
Okay, let's just see whether we can see this.
So
Are they
should-
just gonna put Ench mid and then
no, maybe it's like a safe lane Centaur and mid TB.
So it's a Matumba
And,
Man CW.
I haven't seen that before.
No, not
They,
me.
or they could do like what you said, mid Enchantress.
I think mid
and-
Enchantress,
and
right?
Dazzle with Centaur on the off lane, and Night Stalker will protect the TB in the safe lane. That's also possible for them. There's a lot of ways they can lane this. It's very
Yeah.
hard to say.
I think both teams, in many ways as well. No Tail is going to take that Arc Warden, which we
Arcordon pretty good
predicted.
versus
Lycan
TB yeah,
should be with Mad.
Arc Warden is really, really good against TB.
and against Enchantress, right? Like Ench,
Yeah.
you want to keep your distance. You don't want to get inside that bubble.
5 seconds remaining.
And we've already seen one effective match from the Leshrac today as
this-
well, which is going to be S4. So it is pretty much as we predicted it
Yeah.
would
It's difficult.
Okay.
This one's hard.
This
I'm not
one's
too
very
sure.
tough, which means we'll start with Fogged.
Oh man. Matu on Centaur.
Yeah.
It's I'll go Liquid. It's a Miracle Terrorblade versus Lycan. I think he could if he actually has a good game with Dazzle, like he can just pop that meta, pop Reflection, and he's gonna be able to do really well versus Lycan.
Okay. Winter?
I can't believe I'm considering OG. I really like the Arc Warden pick against the TB, so I'm just gonna stick to
Gonna
that.
YOLO
Okay.
with OG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Jack?
I'm more than considering OG. I like OG in this game. I think Liquid's draft runs into some serious damage issues. I think OG has better team fight and can punish and take towers themselves. I think OG's going to win this game.
Okay, 2 for OG and
Friends.
1
Forever.
for
This is why we
Liquid.
split this.
Right,
This is why we split
die.
this up.
It's why he's over there on his own now. He's been outcast, thrown away. Very interesting draft. What a very intriguing draft from both teams. Which one comes out of top? Let's find out as we head into game number 4. It's Liquid versus OG.
Should be an exciting way to get into our 4th heat of Group A here. Liquid versus OG. We knew it was going to be a pretty highly touted kind of a matchup, especially after OG had such a good showing earlier against Optic Gaming. Liquid have been a little hot and cold based on what we saw yesterday, but here, based on the draft before us, a very intriguing draft here, Lacoste. I'm just so curious. The laning phase itself is already going to be a bit of a question mark, but look at already Kuro is just getting bullied all the way back. It looks like he might be able to make it to a safety point, but the pressure, I spoke too soon. Kuro's already down. That's first blood, just like that. Acquired by OG with their already very aggressive movement early on.
Yeah, nice stun there by S4. Caught him on the edge of a split earth. So we're in for a treat, boys. OG against Liquid. The panel talked about how they prefer OG's lineup. I would say I prefer it as well. Arc Warden received a huge buff. It might not seem too strong, but cooldown for Flux reduced from 18 to 16 seconds. If you take in consideration that he has 2 of them, that's a pretty big deal. Also AoE increased for the bubble. Leshrac on the bottom lane managed to take down the Ward as well, so he's almost level 2.
Wow.
So that's a full magic wand, 1 mantle.
What about this Matamba Man Centaur Warrunner? Fogg had said something he had never seen. I don't think I'd ever seen Matamba Man play this hero. I know Matamba Man's a very high skill kind of a player and has the capability to being able to pull it off, but I can't help but be super intrigued.
I mean, Centaur is not that highly skilled, let's say, as an Arc Warden, as an Invoker. But it's going to be a good lane for them on bottom. Dazzle Centaur works great, but this Leshrac is going to harass them a lot.
And already peppering away quite a bit. Jerix thinks about kind of rummaging on forward to get some pot shots in if possible.
I guess the reason why they picked the Centaur is to run away from the Lycan. Once he uses Shapeshift, he can make the whole team just run away. Plus, they can run away from Flux as well.
you have this great ultimate and you're using it defensively to run away. That doesn't sound badass.
I mean, it's just to reposition yourself.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well, they continue to trade about. Man already getting pretty low. He's going to be forced to chew through the last bit of his tango. Still holds a salve in reserve, of course. But CS game is still working out pretty splendid here as S4 is able to acquire at least 5 to his name.
I saw No-Tail playing in Europe qualifiers a couple of days ago. He went for a Meteor Hammer on Arc Warden. It was not... It was effective to 1 point where he was dropping 2 Meteor Hammer on the buildings, but after that it just fell off. Then he went for a Shadow Blade and was a damage dealer.
And I'm very intrigued. We got to witness at least one Arc Warden game yesterday. I believe that was in the hands of Ame on Newbie. In that game in particular, he got shut down pretty good. And didn't really get to see the hero come into true fruition, but here, obviously, in the veteran hands of No-Tail, should be pretty good. Top lane, uh-oh, Mad. A bit of trouble right now. It's like it. Getting bullied back within the trees, hitting up with a bit of that dot damage, but looks like they will be able to go for the turnaround right now. Possibly onto GH to stomp. Not going to be followed through. The right clicks are there. One more, may be able to secure it. Oh, he's got the Fairy Fire. And will help him survive. Now it's Jarek's eating too much damage. What a wonderful little turnaround right there, and a nice little use of eating the greens.
Yeah, what a play from GH. First he canceled the stomp with Void, then he gets the kill in return as well. That's a Night Stalker with a Stout Shield. I don't like when people go for Boots of Speed Night Stalker. That seems such a waste. If you go for Orb of Venom, let's say double Fairy Fire or just Stout Shield so you can trade hits, it's way better.
Are paying off pretty dang nicely for him. Our current early breadwinners of the CS game currently belong to Liquid. Miracle in that mid lane, 19-7, as he's really taking it to No-Tail at this point, who's only at 8-0. Now popping Metamorph. Bottom lane, we're seeing some hefty harassment once again coming up from S4 as he bullies back with Tamaman, who's going to be forced to take the full wave under the tower. The stomp is going to be there. And they're getting ready to kind of party right behind this tower setup. Jarek's happy to come in from behind, gets off some shots onto Kuro.
Kuro saving 2 points, only 1 point in heal. I mean, he should just skill 1 more in Wave. I don't think they're gonna be that aggressive with the Poison Touch, but everything's still open. Saving the Grave if they decide to dive. Leshuk is doing such a good job. Every time he gets close, he can't really last hit, just faking the Earth Splitter animation.
Yeah, really keeping him guessing. S4 sporting that nice 16-5 CS already going his way. But yeah, same goes for Miracle. Way up there at the top. Okay, here we go. A move being made. GH is rotated all the way down to the bottom and proves already for it to be profitable as he gets the nice takedown on to Jarek's. 2-1 head start already for Liquid.
Yeah, Night Stalker. First night, already 1 kill, has that Arcane Rune. They want to dive again.
Yes, they do. GH looking around the corner right here. Does make his move for S4, but he's got some distance between himself and company, but Liquid posturing up pretty good behind this tower. Now the Spirit does go out, and they may have to step off a bit. Liquid imposing their will.
Since Jarek's got the First Blood and picked up a couple of Bounty Runes, he already has a Tranquil and a Wind Lace.
Very fast, man. Mid lane, fisticuffs now. Nice moving from behind, coming out from Fly. May earn them the takedown onto Miracle, but he does pop the wand and the Sunder. He's got it. Saps the life away from Fly. And Kuro will have to pay the price, though.
Yeah, no Grave. He went for 1 level of Poison Touch to get a kill on Jarek's, but they already had enough damage there.
May scratch his head a bit about that one, but nonetheless, Miracle was able to survive with that nice little Sunder. Jarek's dishes out the stomp. Gets connection onto GH, who will eat the Flux and the Trap. It's a lot of damage already, but he's still holding strong, and now Kuro's made his return. And they'll begin to add some added pressure here into the mid lane. Yeah, Miracle just got to that level 6 so damn fast. 37-14. He is really giving it his all already.
Yeah, Fly with the defensive build. Once again, we see a Witch Doctor who skips Maledict, just gets one point in heal to add more survivability to his teammates.
He also gets the D-ward. Early bit of offensive vision was placed by Liquid, but not for long. Good heads up there from Fly. Mind control with the top lane kind of to himself at the moment. Third in CS on this Enchantress, 29-7. We It was talked about a bit about her recent changes to the patch, nerfing down her early game a bit, but you were mentioning over here how her late game and it's still pretty pungent.
Yeah, it's just an early game nerf. The impetus only costs 40 mana now, which sometimes in fights she's out of the mana, and so she can't deal the damage. Mad is gonna TP out, but they're gonna take down the Matumba Man on bottom. Leshrac is level 6 with mana boots, so this Leshrac is gonna be the main damage dealer, and Leshrac is really good against the Terrorblade in the mid game. Look at the farm.
Yeah, I mean, is this because of so much farms coming his way? Is this like a early Bloodstone kind of a game?
He might go for it, even though it's just it feels like Bloodstone is an empty net worth. It doesn't do that much. That's 5,000 gold. For 5,000 gold, you can buy 2 items.
2 pretty solid, like mid-tier kind of items to be able to really let your team surface. But look at OG now, smoked up and on the move. We're seeing Fly and S4 tag team their way potentially to round the bend and go for this mid lane grab onto Miracle. He's doing really good. They want to try to shut that down a bit. Looks a step back. He does have this Sunder. Hit with the Maldic is just too much. There's no chance for him to get that Sunder off. That man is dead. And now the pressure is on. OG hitting it hard here. Onto the tower already.
No points in Edict yet, but still they will probably manage to take down this tower with 2 Arc Wardens. It's gonna be pretty easy. Meanwhile, top is gonna fall. Mind Control having a good time again. Every time I see him playing Enchantress, pretty much always has a decent early game.
Okay, Roshan. I guess that's something that's on the agenda now for OG, or something to consider. Certainly by clearing out that mid-tier 1 tower, the space has opened up quite a bit for them to be able to have that wiggle room. But I don't think you're going to be able to get under the nose of Liquid that fast here. But it is a bit of a concern. Even after that successful takedown of Miracle, he's still bringing in some good farm. And as mentioned, Mind Control too. You don't want to sleep on these guys. They'll just suddenly pop up and dish out some serious deeps. GH seems to be stalking out Fly a bit, but with S4 so close, this is not going to be an easy target. They did bring over Mind Control, but very awkward.
GH.
Okay, he's in a bit of trouble. Now they look to pull back. They catch him with the stun, and I think that's going to be a dead Night Stalker. And I'm right.
His invis was running out, but seems like he was not aware of it.
It's going to cost him. And now OG, you're going to be able to pull ahead now 5-2. So pairing that together with a tier 1 takedown, it's a good influx of gold. Okay, here we go, and off to the races. A move in and a stomp. And an easy blast of Big Daddy No Tail. First rotation coming in from Matumba Man. It looks like he's got a hood queued up, going for more tankability.
Yeah, Arc Warden in the mid game and late game is gonna be so good against the Terrorblade. Now that bubble AoE is increased, Terrorblade needs to get in to actually deal the damage.
Yeah. It'll be intriguing to see how Miracle tries to play around that. He actually pops his Metamorph now and begins to soften up this mid-tier 1 tower. The Fortify already used. No Tail makes his return. Pops him with the Flux and a little bit of trap damage. Fly wanted to kind of waltz in and see if he can get off a Coconut. And he's not going to be able to find the connection. Miracle makes the space and will step away, but Mad shows up to play and has his own net. Oh, man. And with the follow-up, he is able to turn around and get the Sunder. Flux was hit with Maldict. What level Maldict, though? Level 2? They give him the Grave. It looks like Miracle's going to be fine. He avoids the trouble. A 4-man commitment from OG on that mid lane.
Yeah, meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they might even get a kill on Centaur. Again.
Possibly, but a new rotation's coming in. It's Mind Control, and he's got the impetus. Gets off 2 heavy hits. My God. The goat ass hurting on that one. We'll run back out the corner and be fine, but that was a little too close for comfort.
Yeah, I think OG's lineup will shine in the next, I would say, after 15-minute mark. Mad already has Helm of the Dominator. Leshrac is getting that Bloodstone. So they're going to be ready to go. Even though Arc Warden needs more time, not the best start for the Arc Warden. 74 CS on Terrorblade against 34 on Arc Warden only.
Yeah.
But he's the hero that can join the fights easily and make a difference. Deals a ton of damage with level 4 Ghosts.
Lane, Stomp is out. OG on the prowl, looking to get a hold of the little Bambi. But there goes the ulti from Matumba Man, creating a bit of space, but they still find connection with the Maldic. Mind Control does decide to pop the heal, runs out the other side, looking to give him the little bit of a slippery one. And he seems to be okay. He's running circles around him and heads out the other direction. That little girl is quite fast.
Yeah, with the heal, Maledict doesn't deal that much damage. Also, she's super fast, easy to juke, and a lot of spots to juke around that side shop near the Radiant.
Couple of heavy OG pressured ganks coming up a little short there. Previously onto Miracle in the mid lane, and now jump from Mind Control on the bottom. Still have the kill advantage 5-3, but the net worth still belongs to Liquid with how much farm they've been getting in these lanes. In particular, Mind Control and Miracle. And below, a little bit of flirting. Coconut's going to get tossed, but things will diffuse. Stomp out. Ouch, ouch, man. Mind Control hits hard, and he's pretty dang close to finishing out that Dragon Lance.
Well, it's going to be hard again for Enchantress once Arc Warden gets the levels in the mid game. She's going to need to enter the bubble to deal the damage.
GH, extremely deep here. Hiding behind, pops the ulti. Minor convergence coming in from both sides, but Matama Man not looking to pursue. GH is still here.
He's just flying from one side to another.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, using that fog really well. Centaur no blink, but he has Stampede, so they can get close to him.
He's getting he got that hood and got close to a blink so fast. Man able to kind of really gobble up some farm in this top lane in the meantime.
He's gonna eat a tree and try to come at it.
Just thinking about it here. No-Tail still trying to farm his way through the lane. Has quite a journey ahead of him. And GH, the patience of hanging around in this top lane for the gank potential, but it looks like Fly rotating in will stop them from pursuing. Mad shows up to play now. Stampede's going to be going out, but it's not going to be enough to save little GH. He will end up going down. Matama Man able to make it away. Can't quite get close enough to cancel out that TP, so he is gone. 4 from OG rotated up here. Meanwhile, Mind Control will try to get some damage done onto this bottom tier 1.
Yeah, even though OG is leading with kills, Liquid doing what they need to do, just pressuring the other lanes. NS buying time. It doesn't matter that he died on top. There was a couple of rotations. Meanwhile, Terrorblade took the mid tower down and just continues to free farm in jungle. Look at his net worth already.
Yeah, you just can't sleep on this guy. And I know you keep talking about how the bubble should be able to help out OG a bit, but I don't know. At some point, he's going to be just so damn jacked. He'll be able to walk himself into the fight without too much trouble, but we'll see how things continue to pan out. Looks like S4 and Fly have found a sweet little treat. Kuro walks right into their open arms, and they welcome him. S4 now dominating on this Lesh. Just like old times here. And he is indeed looking to finish out that Bloodstone. Has it queued up, 2k gold in the pocket, invested towards it.
So 2 levels in Edict, that will help them secure the bottom tower. Plus DD still for 15 seconds. So Arc Warden has Meteor Hammer queued up.
Oh,
they're
baby.
they're looking into the timings again. I said after 15-minute mark to 20, 23, let's say, they're gonna have Necro Book, so a lot of damage, and with that Meteor Hammer plus Edict, the buildings are just gonna melt.
Top lane pressure from Liquid, though, responding with their own objective path. Trying to crumble away a lot of these creeps. They're thinking about diving all the way through, looking to go for Mad. Mad trying to hide up north here. Rotations are coming in, including with the Centaur Stomp. They're just going to eviscerate, take out Fly, just like that. Stampede, as they reposition, look to make the move. They target out Big Daddy No-Tail here. Mad very low, hit with the urn, still able to kind of hide away. Looks to go for the TP and should be successful in making his escape. Meanwhile, though, S4 not so good. He gets taken down. He has a 4-kill streak bounty on top of his head that's going to be gobbled up, and Liquid continue to dive in pretty deep. He's hiding here from No-Tail up north.
Yeah, it feels, I'm not an Arc Warden player, but feels like one level in Magnetic Field could have been great against all this damage from Terrorblade and Ench. Like, level 4 Flux doesn't do that much at this point, if it's level 3.
Miracle gets that last hit on the tower.
Yeah, Miracle's going insane this
What
game.
has he got flying out his way? Oh, boy. Looks like a Manta's done. And is en route. Oh, boy. Mad could be in a bit of trouble here. Here comes Matama Man from behind. That little 4-foot blink. Catches him with the stun. Mind Control starts dishing out the javelins. think Mad may have accepted his fate here. Rotation is coming from Big Daddy, but now with the Metamorph coming out, this could be a crumbling disaster potentially for OG. Liquid still holding their own. Mind control, make it an ultra kill. This guy is just chucking javelins at the team like no big deal.
Yeah, the OG is choosing the wrong fights at the moment. Like this is a huge advantage for Liquid right now. Terrorblade with the Manta Style. He didn't even pop Manta Style there to fight. Mind control. Panel was talking about how nerfed she is. That's just an early game. Like, she can deal so much more damage with Impetus because of that 15 mana less cost on Impetus.
Right now, it's just Miracle and Mind Control. They're in their own league of net worth above everyone else at the moment. The next closest is S4 on the side of OG. And he had just been kind of stunted a bit in his growth. This Bloodstone that he's going for seems to be a little bit further off. He has to find a way to kind of recoup his losses.
So one bad fight for OG, and Arcwarden decides to go for more of a late game oriented build, which is good. If they hit the timings right with the Necro books, this fight on mid set them back really hard, and one on the top lane, so they lost 2 team fights in a row. So they can't put the pressure and can't play around the timings that they wanted.
So even though there is kind of that bubble action, you know, nerfing down heavy range potential, you know, Miracle is still going to go for the Dragon Lance and everything, increase the range even further. Uh-oh, bit of a trade-off here.
Oh,
he makes his
nice
move in,
double
but
stun.
Matama Man just drops down the stun onto both of them. Quick and easy work of those supports. Matama Man takes both those kills.
Yeah, once Matumba Man finishes his pipe, it's gonna mitigate a lot of damage from the Lash. Like, you saw Lash just melting there in these fights. Because Bloodstone is great, but if enemy is putting a lot of pressure on you and you're not getting any kills, it just doesn't feel right.
Good, really on the up and up on this one. There goes the Stampede. Jump in, stomp onto No Daddy Big Tail. And he will be taken down. His little doppelganger will live on, but Liquid get what they need. Turn it back and look to go for the tier 2. S4 just trying to deal with the ongoing trouble here. If they get the kill on Mind Control, it could be a fair amount of damage. There's a nice little Earth Splitter flying out from Jerix, but not enough to go for the finish. But Tama Man very low, heals coming out. The Grave is there, and they get it done. S4 is able to get off the deny with that fresh Bloodstone, but to take a loss on the Bloodstone so soon can't really feel that good.
Yeah, that ulti from ET missed Anch. It could have been a kill. Oh my god, Mind Control is so farmed. Dragonlance BKB.
Ooh. Man.
Well, I was talking about Lash in these fights. When Terrorblade gets close to him, he just melts it. On level 10, he picked up 5 armor, which is good, but against Terrorblade, this farm, it's not gonna help a lot.
Yeah, feels rather weak considering how far in ahead. Miracle is at the moment queued up with that butterfly to come. We'll begin to claim that bottom lane as his own. They still have a tier 1 tower to be able to grab from that. OG trying to do a crafty, sneaky behind the back play here. They make their own move in for the Roche. Pings are flying out though. I think Liquid have an idea something's happening here, and now the rotations are coming. Stampede's ready to go. Oh, Blink is canceled on Matama Man because of that cheeky little tornado. And look at all these traps. Just a safety perimeter here for OG to be able to kind of get what they need and then get out, which they do, but they are suffering some losses. Miracle continues to farm his way through the bottom. S4 rotates in. Miracle thinks about trying to fight at him, but he'll pull off.
Yeah, they even gave S4 the Aegis.
Nice.
Oh, nice dodge by Manta.
Nice, nice. Turns it back. Now it could be S4 in a bit of trouble. Matama Man hops up and over, dunks him on down. That Aegis they claimed is already going to be, well, taken away. All right, and they start swinging out. Mind Control shows up with a hefty bit of damage. Still that fresh and brand new BKB. Here comes the Earth Splitter. They look to head the other direction. They catch him with inside, but it's not really doing a whole lot. He pops the BKB, and now Liquid could begin to go to work here, chasing back the rest of OG. They frantically try to run and make it back to safety of indoors.
Yeah, it feels like OG can't fight at the moment, but Liquid, even with the Aegis on them, they're just keeping the pressure.
Yes, they are.
I mean, they have guaranteed Sunder, most likely, because OG can't get close to this Dazzle. They have a Lycan, yes, but most of the time they are either 3, 4. OG is still not strong enough to group up and take those fights.
OG are going to have to cut their losses for now and head elsewhere to try to farm their way back into some relevance here, but it's even GH picks up his own Spirit Vessel. Still happy to kind of scout things out. I thought Liquid are going to do a full depart, but they still kind of hang around here.
They have a good vision on them. The board just expired. No, actually Fly deboarded it.
And it looks like Liquid will take their leave here. Nothing looking easy though, even a hesitant No-Tail.
The slash rack just melts. Even in melee form, Terrorblade deals so much damage. He's 1,000 gold away from a full butterfly.
Mid lane, a Sun Chop. Tamaman gets the quick slice of Elder Titan. Effortless it feels here. Liquid just kind of bringing in the gain still.
They have a Necrobook 3 with all these siege creeps and wolves. And wolves give them a lot of vision where Liquid is, but still, they can't take the fight. They're afraid because there's a Dazzle, there's a Centaur ulti. If they try to run at them, they can just easily use it and run away, so a lot of phase shift duration will be used.
Mind control. Sorry, he's got the Stolen Catapult.
The
Bubbles pop, but he'll just walk in.
Yeah, the only way for OG is to drag this game, try to play it, but Liquid's gonna pressure them.
I mean, they have no more outer towers. All of their farm has been pretty much taken away. They're starving at this point, especially the supports trying to find somewhere to go. Matt is frantically trying to get a hold of GH, and he's just dancing all over him, flying up and above, but he does fly into a little bit of trouble. Space created, I suppose. OG will take that win and hit the showers.
Still a lot of commitment, and now that net worth kill is only based for your own hero, he doesn't feed away much more.
They run in. Matt has no more shapeshift, but he still wants to make an approach, possibly from the Tamaman, pops the pipe. Meanwhile, Mind Control just easily chunks down and finishes off Fly. Can they get the finish? They're able to get the job done on Tamaman. A follow-up is there, but Miracle is just going in and going ham. Not much to be able to stop this guy. S4 is forced to turn and run. Him and No-Tail, the lone survivors for this. Nice sidestep from Mind Control. Dodges the stun and still managed to get one more Javelin off.
They should have been happy with just that kill on a Night Stalker and keep defending the base. This Terrorblade is out of control. 17,000 net worth, 24 minutes, and full butterfly, almost a pike as well.
This tower could melt like butter. They are able to kind of get the bubble down in the meantime, but Miracle walks gladly right into it and begins to go in. Very low life, but still has the Sunder. And with Kuro nearby, he's got a watchful eye on the Miracle. There's the Sunder, just uses it on the Captain Fly. Thank you so much for the full life. He'll head back and look to finish what he had started. In the meantime, Mind Control just kind of chunked things away. It's actually Miracle's going to get that last hit, but Liquid just doing work at this point. Not one, but two buybacks now going to be forced out from OG. Frantic to defend this base and hold on to a decent, respectable record. Can they do it? Liquid look to disperse. The Stampede's going to be there. They get a nice save, but only for the meantime. Miracle will eventually drop, handing over a good chunk of money. But they will retort, at least with a takedown onto S4, taking those charges down even further. Kuro will be next to fall. Gobbled up there by Mad. And Liquid will finally have to take their leave.
Oh, they're going to get the GH as well. It's a daytime. He purged him. Mad has ulti running. Right. That's a decent amount of gold for OG. Sadly for them, they lost the melee Raxes. And 2 buybacks committed as well. Arc Warden, it doesn't feel that he's... Like, look at the net worth. It's Terrorblade has 11,000 more.
Yeah, the poor Arc Warden is still suffering quite a bit at this point. He has a little bit of wiggle room to farm up in this top lane, but he's just hoping to kind of get that finish on the first Mjolnir. Always has the potential to kind of keep the lanes pushed out, but the approach of Liquid has just been so damn aggressive. And as I say that, mid lane jump in. A little poking damage, it looks like, onto Fly. Tamaman not bothering with any sort of follow through. Can't really do it on his own.
And the problem is, again, they can't get close to Dazzle. And both Terrorblade and Enchantress deal way too much damage at this point. So
Enchantress is going for an MKB next and won't even care about your bubble.
you still need to get in.
Oh. Regardless, the damage is just ridiculous. All right, smoke from OG here. They are back on the move. And Roche is still kind of ways away, but they're just trying to hope to maintain dominance here. They do run right into mind control. This might be a good opportunity. She tries to slow him down a bit. Earth Splitter committed now. She pops the BKB and she looks to run with the assistance coming in from the Stampede. She is gone.
Yeah, so they know Shapeshift is down. They will try to go and take one more side.
Yep,
Okay.
it's Miracle. Forcing out the Fortify here from OG. They'll have to pull all the way back inside their base to pull out a defense. Otherwise, Liquid is going to start taking these objectives right under their nose. New drop of the bubble. Miracle runs inside, puts his focus fully onto Mads Lycan, and he is suddenly gone. 70 seconds, no buyback for you, sir. Potential to go for no-tail next. Miracle confidently running down the lane. Still has that Sunder and a Pike to be able to force a wave if necessary. Curl waiting around too. It's just too much to be able to break through if you're OG, and this could be a second set to belong for Liquid. They get a good catch here on the side, looking to go for S4. Desperation as he does the self-Yules, but as he falls back to the ground, it's just too much coming in from Miracle. The hefty right click, he's running on in, going right inside the bubble, looking to take it to no-tail. He is able to make it out barely inside his own base, but Miracle's happy to clean house and finish off Fly. They get back to where they started on this bottom lane and will finish out the racks. 2 sets to fall.
Yeah, there's nothing OG can do at this moment. Last Strike brought back, still 30 seconds until both of the heroes spawn.
Unmerciful. They're running right in, and Jarex is dead too. Tried to help him out there with the bubble, but I think they're just going to call it. The towel had been thrown in. 28 minutes. This one belongs to Liquid.
Yeah, Liquid just played really well. They know when OG was about to hit their timings right, so they moved well around the map and countered them, which delayed what OG wanted to do.
Was it as simple as that? I mean, most people, even the panel, felt that, you know, OG just based on their draft had kind of a favorable matchup here, but we were seeing Mind Control just pretty much free to his own will in the top lane. Miracle just crushing in that mid lane.
Yeah, mid lane was crushed. I'm not sure that should happen. I don't see too much of an Arc Warden, so I can't say with certainty, but still having a 12, 13,000 more net worth at one point just doesn't seem right.
All right, that will conclude our 4th heat, and with that, we'll throw things back over to the panel to get their thoughts on this Liquid versus OG matchup.
Thanks very much, Dakota. Yes, another victory for Team Liquid, who will enjoy themselves with a 2-1 position in Group A. OG, not so much. They are done for the day after 1 win, 1 loss. Exactly the same result as they had yesterday. They stand at 2 for 2. Let's get some thoughts from our panel members on that particularly crushing defeat, frankly. Fogged for Team Liquid. Another one in the bag. Easy predictions, right?
I think I don't know. I did like OG draft. I went for Liquid just because I thought the Terrorblade was like the big key thing for me, and the Terrorblade did actually have a spectacular game. I think the big thing for me was really the early game rotations. They committed like 3 heroes or 4 heroes to gank this Terrorblade, and Miracle actually got the Sunder off and walked away a couple from those games. So that's like heavy committed resources to actually punish this Terrorblade. And he was free farming completely, and then that allows Mind Control in that top lane to do exactly what he did, get absolutely enormous, and then it's pretty much all on the back of S4 to carry the game for them, and he wasn't really able to. The itemization as well, like the quick hood on the Centaur was really able to help them a lot too.
Yeah, good performance all round really from Liquid, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the placement of the lanes, because we were talking about, how are they going to lane this? And they had really good lane matchup. Like Lacoste mentioned earlier, he wasn't sure about the Arc Warden. Is Arc Warden supposed to lose the lane so badly? I'm also unsure that if the matchup is actually so bad for him. He was actually so far behind compared to the Terrorblade just by the laning phase. So with that being said, like 2 lanes won, Night Stalker and destroying the lane. That was kind of expected. I expected the Liquid to win that lane, but the other 2 lanes having a better matchup in the mid lane, so that ensures them winning 2 lanes. More than enough for them to have like a smooth game. Because S4 he had a really good start, like Fogg mentioned, but he wasn't able to to carry the whole game.
Yeah, and it's unusual for No-Tail. He's known as an Arc Warden specialist. We've seen him dominate lanes before.
But maybe the matchup is just very difficult because I'm not an algorithm player. I'm unsure of the matchup if the matchup is actually that bad.
I think this team is persistently known for being a bit slower and greedier, and they've run into trouble with that in recent patches. I think when we're looking at the last pick possibilities for OG, nowhere did something like an Arc Warden come in. We're having another hero that you need farm and space on, right? There was something else with, like we thought that their 2 cores had been selected already. So they picked this hero. Obviously has a very difficult time in lane. You know, against this kind of liquid draft and lineup that you're going to lose towers very quickly. So in that case, basically when it comes to high ground, or when it comes to picking and choosing your fights, you have to be really smart as OG. So this is kind of one of the other issues that we've seen from the team in terms of taking smart fights and not trickling in. A couple of times they just kept getting baited into bad fights against Liquid that started off on the back foot. And then when you couple that with the fact that you're losing towers, the fact that Miracle's having a great game, it just becomes very difficult. They had to stabilize there or not go so greedy with that last selection.
I mean, I'm also seeing like a lot of these fights too. Miracle pops meta, he walks in, uses Reflection, and then he's sitting at like almost 500 base damage pretty much because of that Lycan aura. So, and on top of that, with Weave and with all the other benefits that they had with their draft, this Terrorblade just looked unstoppable. And I thought like they won the 2 top lanes, but I feel like they needed to smash the bottom lane in order to have a chance in this one. And the Centaur, I mean, the Hood came out very early. That's when we were like, oh, wow, Matu's actually doing pretty decent down here with the help. So I thought that was, I thought the lanes were just like way too good from Liquid.
Yeah, it was a very unusual draft from both teams, wasn't it, in many ways?
Yeah, I mean, the Centaur made sense though, right? To close the gap onto that Arc Warden. So you did understand that one there, but it was definitely unorthodox. I mean, we haven't seen Matu not playing a green hero in a while.
Yeah, but it's like he's
probably
kind
a patch of green on
but
that,
it's his
that
kind of
CW
hero.
somewhere.
Like it makes space. Like he's kind of hero. Like
It's a similar role concept, yeah.
just a unusual hero, but it does the same thing with his normal plate heroes.
719 and 27k damage for Mind Control.
I didn't even see he did that much damage in the game.
Which was incredible. Almost the most damage. It was Miracle just about shading it, 28.8 and a 6-2 11 KD for him. Matumba Man 6-3 and 11 with 13.5k done as well. They are the M&M's, and they're very difficult to beat.
Yeah, and though we did see some extensive Enchantress nerfs, I mean, the concept of the hero, what the hero does, is still very valid for them, obviously, right? They took that jungle over very quickly, locked off those camps. Suddenly it's not safe to farm. The hero can kind of brawl and skirmish against anyone until you commit help, in which case, which opens you up to either have other towers taken or to lose something else off the map when that happens. So, I mean, yeah, we knew that Liquid were going to do that coming into the lanes. We probably didn't. It went a little bit more lopsided than we expected, but again, like OG just looked a little bit uncoordinated. It reminded me of their game against Keen, actually, where like they got behind early and they just desperately tried to claw their way back in and took a bunch of fairly uncoordinated fights.
MVP for you this time?
I think probably Miracle, right? I mean, on the TB, I'm not too sure. I mean, he
of the
owned the
Ms.
mids. Any of the M's, yeah. I think My Controller or Miracle for me. Thought like they,
I don't know if we can
so well.
I don't know if production can fix a graphic which just says all of the M's.
All of the M's.
Yeah, because that would be funny.
They could probably do it.
But pick any of those, I think is fair, right? Any of the 3 cores on Liquid.
Yeah, I also like the like adaptation in the item builds. You saw the second item BKB come out from the Enchantress, so he's like, the only way I'm dying is because of really this last shot I can.
And
that's not happening.
Well.
And double pipe, yeah. So the game definitely got harder and harder for OG.
OG are 2-2 now. I guess they'll sort of think that's probably okay after the end of day 2. They've still got plenty of chances in their last 3 games, so opportunities to get through. They might even squeak through with that scoreline, to be fair. But nevertheless, that does put Liquid at 2-1 now. They'll look to make that 3-1 later today. That group could open up quite quickly, because if you noticed yesterday, there was only one team on 2-0 and one on 0-2. The rest were all 1-1. I just wonder how many will end today at 2-2.
Who does Liquid play later?
That is VG.
It is VG.
Yeah, last game of the day is VG.
Okay.
Yeah. We've also got LGD versus Keen. We've got VG versus Optic and Newbie versus TNC. And I tell you what, Newbie have to win that.
Yeah, they do it. If they
lose that one, I don't know. They're not technically or mathematically out, but
they have to win all 3 afterwards.
Well, they have to win all 3, and they've got OG and Liquid to play out of those last 3. So it could be quite squeaky bum time. Could be rough. All right, well, we're going to head towards a break right now. Yeah, LGD versus Keen is our next matchup. Another all-Chinese affair. Plenty on the line for both teams. Keen really need to return to winning ways if they're going to be a surprise team and get out of Group A. LGD, on the other hand, are looking to go 3-1 and go top of Group A. We'll find out after the break how that one turns out.